Did I make it?
I mean, I assume so. As I came to, I found myself in a dim shed, surrounded by wooden walls.
Did I pass out?
The ceiling was broken, and the dark sky could be seen. I must have fallen in through here. The edges of the small shed were blanketed with straw. I was safe thanks to accidentally landing here. The laptop I was clutching was miraculously intact as well.
This is the shed below the church window. Oh yeah.
I was wondering when we were finally going to get back to this weird shed with no doors on it. I had a hunch. The forbidden shed that Rottie had talked about. I was in the shed with no entrance next to the church.
What is this?
Looking around closely in the room, a mark comprised of circles and triangles was painted onto the floor. Characters that I couldn't read were written along the side of the circle.
Some ritual circle? Is it for the church?
Around the strange demonic circle, unevenly large candles were set up, and a few of them were lit.
If this shed can't be entered from the outside, who lit these candles?
Within the burnt-smelling room, found an even stranger thing.
What is this?
On the wall, a mysterious mark was once again written in paint on it. I had no idea what it meant, but it was decidedly unpleasant.
Okay, how the hell do I get out? There's no exit. If I stay here, I might be found. Sis! 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 That voice!
I knew it instinctively. Just then, even though it was years since I had heard it, it was the voice of my sister, Sanae. I strained my ears in order to hear it once more. Almost as if calling to me, a door in the floor opened on its own, and I could see stairs leading to a basement.
Sanae! Are you down there?
As if being led, I started down the steps to the basement. I slowly fumbled my way, step by step, down the dark stairs. Felt as if it was leading to the depths of hell, and a spine-chilling shiver enveloped me.
Before you descend into the room below, I need to tell you something.
On the laptop I still had on, despite closing the lid, I could hear another message from Arata Mizunashi. Previously, he did call out to me with good timing, and I was saved because of it.
Hey, how do you know what I'm doing?
It's happened before.
Just so you're not confused, this is a pre-recorded video message. I'm speaking along to your predicted movements. Sorry if I lag at all.
Arata Mizunashi, just how much of the future have you predicted? Scary. It's not that he predicted it, it's that he probably lived through it. Several times.
No doubt you're still skeptical, but the world we live in is comprised of code. I was a programmer. Makes me one of the only people around who can alter the code. Long story short, it's kind of like magic. It enables me to rewrite the world, so to speak. With this laptop, you too can have this power, with some limitations.
Comprised of code? Does that mean this world isn't real?
I'm sure by now you're asking yourself if that means this world isn't real, but that's not true. We were born into this world. We all exist here. To us, this is as good as reality gets. Even outside of our world, it's all different names for the same thing. Electromagnetic waves, mana, coding, etc. There's no difference between us and anyone else, Mai.
My skin was warm when I touched it. The place I injured was throbbing with pain and was leaking blood and a clear liquid. It was true that right here, right now, I was living.
Hey, wait a second. I meant to ask you this earlier, but how do you know my name?
You're probably wondering how I know your name, but I'm willing to bet you're short on time. I'll make my point.
Then why did you say that? Like, just say why, rather than explain that, like, you're probably asking this. Just say.
The room ahead is not of this world. If your will is weak, they'll take you. Prepare yourself. Don't lose it. The follow-up video is scheduled to play soon, so I'll brief you then. Later.
After saying only that, the video replay ended.
What? What the hell? Iris, what's the schedule? When does the next video play? How many minutes from now?
Information restricted.
What the hell, Arata Mizunashi? So melodramatic.
But of course. In that moment, below me, a red door appeared from nowhere. At the same time, I heard an unlocking sound, and the red door opened its mouth.
Guess I don't have a choice.
How many minutes had elapsed since I continued to walk down the steps after passing through the ghastly red door? In this place with no candles or anything on the walls, I could only rely on the light from my smartphone for my footing. Even when I turned the light to my surroundings, nothing reflected back in this narrow staircase.
Whoa!
Eventually, my feet landed on the bottom floor. Having expected another step, I lost my balance and landed on my hands. The light of my smartphone on the floor illuminated within the darkness the shoes of someone standing in front of me.
Who's there?
I raised my smartphone's light to eye level, and there was... Alright? The face of a townsperson I had seen before, standing there, without any movement, like a mannequin. Looking closely on his side, and their sides, and even behind him. In this dark room, the residents of this town were standing lined up, with no expressions.
What is this? The residents all died, didn't they? Why are they all lined up here?
Even when I touched them hesitantly, there was no response. They had no body heat. Felt uncomfortable, like time was stopped just here. Everyone was motionless, as if their bodies were fixed in the space.
What is this place?
I swallowed my fear and headed further inside between the lined-up people. In the very back of the room, there was a wall that looked like a wooden cottage. There was the head mistress Midra and Rotti.
Rotti!
Like the other people, Rotti's eyes were open, but she was expressionless. She looked like a pretty doll.
This is the strain area. A place that houses the memories of this town's master. Here, all of the townspeople are enshrined.
The laptop once again began to play a video on its own, and I heard Arata Mizunashi's voice. And instinctively my brain ended up understanding that the words were true. Enshrined corpses. Yes, they were dead. This girl was dead from 30 years ago.
Rotti, please, answer me. Smile, tell a joke. I promise not to be upset.
Tears started falling.
God damn it, hold me!
The sobs that were welling up from deep within my heart, I forcibly swallowed. I then glared at the head mistress nearby. She was mannequin-like, as expected, but it was her figure from before turning into a shadow matter. I hesitantly tried touching her body. It was the headmistress's room. The calendar was year A980, September 1st. It was 8 years before the headmistress's carnival suicide incident. As the headmistress Midra worked within her room, the head maid Shizu flew in.
Headmistress! Lady Rotti is... I can't believe it. She was hit by a car in town. She tried to save her friend Maria.
You don't want to be hit by a car, trust me.
No! Take me there at once!
The ashen-faced headmistress dashed out. In the town, within a crowd, a single old car was stopped and, On the ground, her darling daughter Rotti was collapsed face first, covered in blood. A few hours later.
We did everything we could, but her organs are too damaged. I'm sorry. She likely won't make it through the night.
Roddy!
This strangely has another horror element to me, because obviously, you know, nearly a year ago now, got hit by that van. It's like, yeah, I got off lucky. This could have been kind of my situation. I got really fucking lucky. The headmistress fell prostrate on the desk.
God, why? Why have you punished your child like this?
The headmistress was grieving, but then the doctor sat down next to her and whispered into her ear.
Saving her with normal means would be impossible, Miss Dahlhart. But to save your daughter, why don't you meet with our sister?
Oh no.
What?
A black car was stopped in front of the church. From out of it came a woman clad in black. It was Giulietta. Giulietta approached her reverently, squeezed the headmistress's hand, then spoke as if bestowing some important words. That night, Maria was walking alone down the hall of the Wordsworth dorm. Sensing a presence and turning around, there was the headmistress, clothed in black. In her hand was a three-pronged halberd. Okay. The scene changed. A room that looked like a queen's bedroom. Maria's body and the dying Rotti were laid next to each other. As the grand sister Giulietta turned around from the altar which she was praying at, Rotti suddenly exhaled and began breathing.
Roddy!
The headmistress held her daughter and cried. Giulietta then whispered into her ear.
To be freed of the contract, you must offer 666 deaths. They must be children, otherwise Rotti's soul will leave her, and she will die.
I can't do this anymore!
Consider them offerings to God, a noble sacrifice. Relinquish your hesitation.
The headmistress, her tears refusing to stop, continued to be bathed in blood, and her mind slowly started to break. Headmistress continued to prepare offerings for her daughter's sake. The fateful day, year A 989, February 16th, had arrived.
It's Carnival! You're the best mom in the world! I love you!
She left the room, the innocent daughter who knew nothing. The broken headmistress gave a twisted scream and began tearing at her head. Rotti dashed out. From behind the headmistress's corpse, the black-clothed people appeared. Giulietta, standing in the middle, laughed with wide-open eyes.
This year was especially fruitful. A bounty of 22 lives. She has talent. I've placed a curse on this town. Soon, poisonous gas will leak from a nearby town, rendering it uninhabitable. And of course, I will trap the souls of its citizens here forever.
Why and how?
Thus, they are doomed to repeat the cycle, surrendering 22 souls every year until soon we reach 666.
Uh-oh.
Elstrain Marbas! Elstrain Marbas! Reveal yourself to us!
Oh.
Oh? The corpse of Rotti in front of me had suddenly begun to stream tears.
What was that? One of the headmistress's memories?
The headmistress still stood there with eyes open, and the bodies of the other residents still had not moved a bit.
The Wordsworth Massacre incident from 30 years ago became worldwide news. Word spread far. The one and only survivor, Rotti, was deemed missing. Afterwards, a poisonous gas leak from a coal mine in the area caused the town to be shut down.
Bloody here's Silent Hill.
Ever since, people started calling La Choara cursed. No one lived there anymore. Now, it's a ghost town.
I can't believe how much you know. You foresaw everything before it happened. What are you, Arata Mizunashi?
I turned around and gazed at the mysterious room.
Bet you're asking who I am. I came to investigate this town and was killed. Well, technically, I'm going to be killed. By the time you see this, I'll be dead. I'm stuck in a time loop myself, and I've seen a future in which you failed to.
Fail? This is nonsense. There's no way you can see the future.
Wait. More importantly, just now, Arata Mizunashi, did he say after the incident 30 years ago, Rotti went missing?
Were you just shown Headmistress Midra's memories? It's as you suspect. Rotti didn't die during the massacre. She violently glitched, which froze her at this age. Seems like Julietta's curse reset her memories. So she's been living the same year on repeat.
Then...
In front of my eyes, quite suddenly, she had returned to the girl from this morning who lived and moved. She was moving and sobbing.
She might be from 30 years ago, but she doesn't age. She's alive, conscious, just like you.
I was so scared!
Without saying a word, I hugged Rotti.
You idiot.
Holding Rotti's warm body, my voice shamefully wavered.
Never leave me again.
Rotti's face turned red, and she buried it into my chest.
You two are inseparable.
Okay, explain Liliana. That's the bit that needs explaining now. Like, this was very nice. And like, yeah, okay, like, Rotti's been through so much, he needs this hug. It's like, wait, what's going on with Liliana? I assume she was brought here as well. Turning around towards the voice behind us, Liliana was standing there.
Liliana! Where have you been?
I think I passed out. When I woke up, I found myself here. God sent me a message. He told me to hide here for a while. I awoke terrified and shaking, so I think I ended up fainting again at some point. Liliana?
Rotti and I ran up to her and hugged her.
I wet myself just a little.
Perfectly understandable.
It happens. Don't sweat it.
Arata Mizunashi said nothing about Liliana. This time he recorded this foreseeing video. Seems like he didn't have her information. Yeah. Which meant this girl was brought from the modern age into this current time flow, just as I was, it's like, I feel so, it's like, poor Rotty. Like, she's had to endure this for 30 years. It's like, oh god. That cult woman Julieta had brought her to Wordsworth, just like she had done with me.
My...
Good girl. You tried your hardest.
Again, it makes sense of, like, the fact that Liliana seemed to understand technology. Now that I recall, Liliana knew about machines of the current age, like smartphones and computers, unlike Rotty.
I understand now. It's all because of her.
That's not good.
Most likely, you're running out of time. If my calculations are right, the loop is on its 30th cycle, meaning they're close. Mai, I have a favor. Since you're a hacker, I want you to inherit my power.
What do you mean?
Due to the absurdity of everything so far, I ended up forgetting it was a video.
Julieta cursed this town. She too is a programmer. With this laptop, you're the only one who can stop her.
I suspected that was the how.
The curse created a yearly cycle that culminates the massacre from 30 years ago. It loops endlessly, taking victims. They've taken 665 lives. There's only one left. When the 666th life is claimed, they will summon a so-called king to consume this world. By my calculations, you're almost out of time. You have to stop it, no matter what.
King? What do you mean? Is it a cult?
When I refer to the king, I mean Elstrain, Barbas. They refer to it as their god, but it's a demon. They're a sinister group of demon worshippers.
He said something incredibly rather casually, but the reality in front of me had already deviated from the ordinary. Moreover, the moment I had come to this town, I myself had felt the presence of some disturbing thing throughout my whole skin.
I didn't believe it at first either, but it's no simple bug. It's bigger than any kind of coding irregularity. It's something worse. An aberrant calamity. One that was impervious to my hacks. It's what these people call a demon. Hence, why I came to investigate.
Damn. By now, I've heard it all. What am I supposed to do?
I don't think you've heard it all, but alright.
I'll show you the way. Head through the door to Wordsworth's basement. The altar used by Midra to slaughter the girls is in there. There, the ritual to summon their god has already started. You must stop the cult. Please, defeat Julieta.
Do we have what it takes to stop it?
You might feel apprehensive, but I've got one more cheat code for you. Something of a good luck charm. The world's key. It's an emergency measure, just in case you can't beat them. It can only be used once, but with it, the world's yours.
Is it done? Boom. The church, no, the whole town shook. At the same time, the corpses of the townspeople all opened their eyes at once and laughed. Oh!
That room is not in your present world. No doubt it's becoming unstable. Mai, hurry up and get down there before it swallows you up. Sadly, it's too late for me.
Hey, what's the world's key do? No explanation? Shit.
Taking Rotty and Liliana with me, I ran towards the wall at the end.
Okay, I'll tell you the most important thing. Mai, at Julieta's altar, they have your sister, Sanae.
I'm sure she's fine. Without thinking, I opened the lid of the laptop and looked at the video, at Arata Mizunashi's face.
If you make it before they summon the demon, you can save her. Either way, hurry!
Got it. I'll do whatever it takes.
I responded to the video. It may have been because I wanted to express gratitude to the person who had given me hope.
Mai, I've known who you were ever since you hacked into Enigma. You were a kid.
What?
Sorry, I traced your IP and was able to learn your identity. I thought maybe we could make a game together. I'm proud of you for overcoming your past and being here. Listen, it's okay now. Free yourself.
When I found out all of the saved data I took from the game was deleted, I saw there was a text file left behind. It said, "When the time comes that you can access this file, I'll see you there. Free yourself."
From there, I could no longer hear his voice.
Your message? It gave me a reason to live, you know? Thanks, Mr. Mizunashi.
Hi! He said Sanae might be there! What a relief!
Agreed. Roddy, Liliana, let's go. Let's end this.
This time, on the wall in front of us, was a jet-black door with a demonic and strange relief on it. After looking around once more through the strain area, I opened the door, and we continued onward. The headmistress's face was shadowed, and I couldn't see it well.
Oh, the signal's no longer jammed, so you can use the avatar system again. Don't lose, okay?
I mean, I don't plan to. I just returned too. Felt myself regain my fighting spirit, ever so slightly. Brink of life and death entrance. Triple dot. Triple dot. You too. I'm so glad. This place is... Let's go.
Oh, a save point.
You know, I was gonna say... Use teleport stone.
Let's rest a moment.
Like when I was gonna do my final thoughts on the game and stuff like that, the town, yep. The town felt like it was just a bunch of corridors. It seemed to have too much of a clear dungeon structure to it. It doesn't feel like a proper town. It's like, now we're here, it's like, nope. That makes sense. That's not a mistake. That's probably on purpose. I wonder if my mother would do the same for me. Headmistress Midra loved you so much, Rotti. Mother. But that doesn't mean what Headmistress did was right. Yes, I know. But it's not your fault. You need to learn how to live your life too, Rotti. Everyone's dead because of me. Can't undo that. Like I said, none of that is your fault, Rotti. Live your life. Okay. Oh, it's like, again, poor Rotti, it's like... Oh, it was the... Oh, the menu's gone and disappeared. Well, as a result of that, I'm going to end this part here. It took me... See, the menu's back now. It took me 15 minutes to get back to this point. Quite annoying when I was just singing its praises. So anyway, we'll end this part here. In the next part, we'll explore this place. I was going to do all the little stuff here, but it's like, I don't want to risk it now. I think it's understandable. So, next part, we'll explore this town. See you then. Ta-ta for now.